Hi, this is Dr. Darren Schmidt at the Nutritional and Healing Center of Ann Arbor. And this video is about inflammation. And I think inflammation right now is a buzzword. Well, it's been a buzzword for more than 15 years in medicine. And there's articles online that says that inflammation causes all disease. And you read the article and it actually doesn't tell you much more than that. And they'll go into research and stuff, but the question is what causes inflammation? And the other question is what exactly is inflammation? And it's actually pretty easy. What causes it is nutritional deficiency and toxicity, and then also like poisonous toxic food. So sugar absolutely causes inflammation. Refined white sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and then white flour that's been bleached with no vitamins in it. So basically processed food is the main cause of inflammation, and then heavy metals and chemicals cause inflammation. So you don't read that, what I just said, you don't read that in the medical research really. They kind of avoid that, and they're trying to treat inflammation. They're just always trying to treat it. So I've been talking about lactic acidosis quite a bit since March of 2016, and it's this cycle of chronic disease. It's the single mechanism of chronic disease. No matter what your diagnosis is or what your symptom is, or what your symptoms are, this is the mechanism behind it. So you have liver dysfunction, and the cell is burning too much sugar, it's not burning fat, and the cell is making lactic acid, but it's not technically lactic acid, it's four constituents, which I'll get to in a second. And then this gets converted back from the liver, it gets converted back into sugar. So this is the cycle. So the inflammation comes from this right here. So what is that? It's toxic poisons. One of them is acetaldehyde, which is what they use to make some plastic products. Another one is acetate, which is nail polish remover and paint thinner. And then lactate, most lactate is converted back into sugar as a fuel, but 25% of it stays in the blood and it makes the arteries dilate. Acetate also makes arteries dilate, and you can see this in my other videos about arterial dilation, especially the capillaries causes slowness of circulation and capillary engorgement, which causes cell death. And the blood is dirty. Dirty blood that's also hypoxic. And that causes cell death, which causes tissue death, which causes organ death, which causes body death. If it goes on long enough and it's not broken, that cycle needs to be broken. Okay, and then the fourth one is ethanol, which is alcohol. So these are the things that absolutely contribute to inflammation. And there's other chemicals that you can read about, like histamine. You've heard of antihistamines when people have allergies. They take a allergy medication that's an antihistamine. But this is not mentioned or discussed really in the medical literature, but I think this is 10 times a bigger issue. It was well known in the 1930s. It was published in textbooks back then, and that was squashed in the 1960s. So I'm saying right now that inflammation is mostly lactate, acetate, acetaldehyde, and ethanol. And a lot of the other chemicals that you read about, like histamines, there's a whole bunch. I'm not going to go into a list of them, but I think those are a smaller part when you compare it to this. So the inflammation is dirty blood. It's these things. And you can see my other videos about how to start to break into this cycle and how to reverse this.